In this video, I'm going to share with you my best of 2024 lipsticks, lip pencils and brushes. Now, if you haven't seen part 1, I'll link that down below for you, and that's where I talked about all the other makeup products, so primers, foundations, powders, blushes, eye pencils, eyeshadows and all of that good stuff. So this video is just focusing on lipsticks, lip pencils and brushes. Hello and welcome, or welcome back. So I thought it'd be interesting to start with what I chose last year and how different it is from what I've chosen this year, because I did a video of the best of 2023, which I'll link down below for you. And looking back at the lipsticks I chose then, I was really surprised to see the difference in the type of lipstick I chose last year, because I chose quite a few liquid lipsticks, which I must admit I haven't reached for much at all in 2024. But this year I've got a lot more lip oils, maybe because they were more popular this year, maybe because they were a new thing. I've also got less matte lipsticks, because again, I always was a matte girl, and this year I've gone a little bit less matte and a little bit more satin. So without further ado, let me share with you my lipsticks of 2024. And by the way, these are products that I reach for on a daily basis. They're not products that I use for videos only. They are absolutely my day-to-day products that I love, and that's what I wanted this set of videos to be about. I wanted it to be about the products that I use on a daily basis and not just because I'm doing a video. Right, let's start with lip balm. And I have two that I do reach for, or I certainly was reaching for a lot in the summer, maybe not quite so much in the winter. And they are the Eldridge Baume Embrace in the shade Epanoui, and the Victoria Beckham Posh Balm in Cassis. And what I love about these is it is like wearing a lip balm, a comforting, non-drying product on your lips to keep them looking soft, and they just give you that elevated lip look, as it were, and I just really love wearing them. And although I haven't reached for them much in the last couple of months, I think because of the weather, they are lip products that really suit the summer months when you don't necessarily want a full lip, and maybe the spring as well, but certainly I wore them a lot in the summer, and that's why they're in this video. Now, another product that I reach for all the time in the summer and I absolutely went mad for is this Milani Keep It Full Lip Plumper. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how amazing this was when I put it on, because it really did make my lips tingle, but in a nice way actually. It took a little bit of getting used to, but it was fine. But it also made my lips look super plump, I think. Now, it's not a look that I reach for, again, a bit like the balms in the winter, but in the spring and summer, and even in the autumn, I would definitely reach for this. And it made my lips feel absolutely gorgeous. This is in the shade, oh, I've forgotten the name of the shade now. I've forgotten the name of the shade, but I'll link it down below for you. And honestly, if you want a lip plumper that doesn't have any fragrance, because most lip plumpers do, this is a really great product and I absolutely love it. Now, while we're still on the summer theme, and I know for a lot of you it isn't the summer, although if you're in the Southern Hemisphere it is, these lip oils were really fantastic and I loved using them. I have the HausLabs in Macaron, which I will show you, and I also had, that's the Macaron shade in the HausLabs, and also a new brand to me, Summer Fridays, came out with this gorgeous lip oil. Let me pop that here. Oh, I mean, now that I know it looks really dark, but actually on my lips, it was absolutely my lips but better. Again, both of these lip oils are like that. So in a way, they're just a different consistency, but a similar kind of effect as the balms, I would say. The balms are probably more hydrating, but these also feel lovely on the lips, and again are my lips but better. And I did reach for these a lot in the summer, and I know I will again going into spring 2025. Now let's talk about lip pencils, and I've got three. I've got two Eldridges and one NYX. This NYX is so good. They come in so many shades, these NYX pencils, but this is the one I like, which I think is called something like Neutral. Again, I'll have everything linked down below for you, but I really find this lip pencil is great because it doesn't really interfere with the colour of the lipstick I'm then going to apply. Just a nice neutral shade. It suits my lips. It's not that dissimilar to my own colour lip. It is a little bit browner, but it really goes very well, particularly with a lot of the neutral lipsticks I'm going to show you in a minute that I wear on a daily basis. But the other two lip pencils I really like are by Eldridge, and I have these shades. I have 1N, which is this one here. That's quite brown, actually. It's browner than the NYX, isn't it? But again, it suits my lips very well because my skin is quite neutral. And this is in 2C, so this is the cool one. You can see that the pigment is a lot stronger than on the NYX, and of course that's because it's a much higher end product. But they are really great lip pencils, and honestly the NYX is perfectly fine, but these are extra special, I would say, and they've got great staying power, really good pigment, and I absolutely love them. Now let's talk about lipsticks, and I'll start with the most affordable, and that is this lipstick by Revolution Pro, and it's called Velvet. It's in their Satin range, and I have reached for this so much. Now sometimes I use this lipstick on top of a more neutral colour, which is exactly what I've done today, but let me just swatch it for you so you can see the actual colour. And can you see it's a nice neutral but sort of rosy pink, or a dark rosewood pink, I suppose you might call it, but it's actually just called Velvet. But the consistency is lovely. It does feel very soft on the lips. It feels satiny. It's got a little bit of a sheen, so it's not too matte, and it really does pair well with other lipsticks. And so actually the lipstick that I've got on underneath this one today is this Rouge Experience. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will have seen a lot of videos about the Rouge Experience lipsticks by Eldridge, and they are very expensive, or at least the casing is. What's so wonderful about the casing is you keep the casing and you can take out the lipstick when it's finished, recycle the lipstick casing that's inside because it's aluminium. It's completely recyclable, but keep the actual case. But I've actually got 3. So I bought this, and this one, I think this is Romy in the actual casing. I'm going to swatch them for you in a sec. This is Romy inside the case, but you can actually buy them individually as well. So here you're probably paying about 20 something pounds for the lipstick without the smart casing. I think this is 49 with the lipstick and the case and the beautiful case. And you can have it monogrammed if you want to as well. But these lipsticks are just such great shades. They're very much my lips but better, but they are quite neutral and they don't always look as gorgeous on camera as they might do in real life, in my opinion. That's why I've put the Revolution lipstick on top of Romy, because I just think that on camera I can look a bit deathly with these on, but these are what I gravitate to on a regular basis, on a daily basis, because I love that neutral look. Anyway, enough waffle, let me swatch them for you. So actually, let's go over here. So this, I think, is Romy, and I am going to double check all of this when I edit this video, obviously. Fantastic casing, by the way, really reminiscent of the lipsticks my mum used to have. This one, see that unfortunately what they've got here is they have only got the numbers on the back. But what I'm going to do is when I'm editing, I will make sure that all the numbers and all the names are put onto the screen so that you know which is which. One's called Ashes of Roses, I know that, and the other one, I've forgotten now. I don't know. So those are the 3 shades I've got, and like I say, I'll put all the details down below for you. As you can see, they're neutral. The one in the middle is probably the warmest colour. The other 2 are leaning a little bit more cool, but they are beautiful shades and very neutral. And if you like a neutral lip, which I do, then I think these lipsticks are really gorgeous. Now, moving away slightly from neutrals, let's talk about the Nars Satin lipsticks, and these were a real discovery for me. I think it was watching Tanya B. Wells, who I really enjoy watching. She's a Romanian-American makeup artist, has a fantastic channel. If you want to know about luxury products, she is your girl. She's really knowledgeable about them, and she gives lovely demonstrations, and she looks absolutely stunning as well. Now, she talked about these lipsticks on her channel back in the summer, and it was quite difficult for me to get hold of 1 or 2 of the shades that she mentioned. But anyway, I got hold of 2 shades, and the first one is Unashamed. This was the one I bought in the summer. Let me swatch that for you. It's a beautiful kind of pinky mauvey shade, and again feels lovely on the lips. It's got that sheen to it, a little bit of a sheen, so it's not a completely matte lipstick, which is why I say how interesting it is to me that I've changed the type of lipsticks that I wear in 2024 as compared to the 2023 lot, which were very matte based. And then I also decided to buy a red lipstick, and this was for my red lipstick video, which I'll link down below for you. And I talked about this one, and I have actually worn this one over Christmas because it's such a great shade. Look at that lovely shade. It really is gorgeous, and I think it really suited me actually. I took a couple of snaps of myself over Christmas with it on, and I really enjoyed wearing it, so I'm definitely going to wear it more. And I think it's quite a forgiving shade of red for women over a certain age, depending of course on your skin tone, so really enjoy using this as well. So those are all the lip products that I've loved in 2024. Now let's talk about brushes, and this is an area that I have not delved into before at all. I might have talked about one individual brush, but not a whole slew of them, and so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to do that, because I have been asked by a few people what brushes I would recommend. So let's talk about my favourite brushes of 2024. Now I'm going to start with an OG, as it were, and it's this Sephora brush. This is a kabuki brush, and I've had this must be for about 4 years, I would say, and although it looks a bit different on the site now, it is still available, and I'll of course link everything down below for you and in a pinned comment. And I just think this is a great kabuki brush. It's easy to use, it washes very well, it's lovely and soft. It makes the Laura Geller makeup that I use, that I've talked about in part 1 of these videos, really easy to apply. It's great for blending, and it's just an all-round great kabuki brush. Now let me talk about BK Beauty brushes. I only discovered them through watching YouTube, because BK Beauty is an American-based company and you can only buy it online, but you can get them on Amazon now. I'm not sure you can get all the brushes on Amazon, but you can certainly get some. And let me talk first about the non-Angie Hot and Flashy brushes, just the straightforward BK Beauty brushes. And the first one, the main one that I really love, is the foundation brush, and this is the 101. This is such a great brush for applying foundation. I do have another one that I also like, which isn't a BK Beauty, but this is very, very good. I really like the big head that it has. It's nice and firm, but not too firm, so it makes it really easy to apply foundation. You can pounce, although I've been kind of stroking more lately, and that's how I applied the foundation I'm wearing today. And I just think it really helps a smooth application and is an excellent brush for foundation. The other 3 brushes that I like and use fairly regularly are this one, which is the 108. And this I use for blush, but usually for powder blush. I don't use it for cream blush because I find that quite tricky to apply with these sort of brushes. But I like the Dome. This has been really useful to me since I've been trying not to apply too much blush, because that is one of the problems that I've had in the past. So I try to hold the handle further down. I used to hold it really close to the edge, but now I don't. I hold it further down. I only apply blush to about here. So from here to here, I don't go down here, which I used to. I go from here, sort of the middle of my eye, to the side, but that's it. And this brush really helps me to do that. And then the other 2 brushes I really like, I think both of these are eyeshadow brushes. This is a 206 and this is a 207. So I presume the 2s mean that they're eyeshadow brushes. And this is great for going into the crease. I can use this with the silk shadows that I talked about in my previous best of 2024, as well as powder shadows. Great for going into this little corner here. And this one's just a really good eyeshadow brush for the lid, or for going into the crease as well, but this is more precise for the crease, I would say, and this one just for all over the lid. Now, before we leave BK Beauty brushes, I wanted to talk about another couple. In my previous video, I talked about the difficulties I have applying concealer and actually finding a concealer that I like. That was the main item of discussion in the previous video. But I am finding that I'm going back to this BK Beauty Nicola Rose brush, which is the concealer brush that she uses. And I did try it a few times on previous videos at the beginning of this year, I think. And then I sort of gave up with it, but I've gone back to it lately, and it's how I applied my concealer today. And what I like about it is it's very feathery. I'm holding another one here, that's because I'm going to talk to you about that one in a minute. I like the featheriness of it, and it's supposed to mimic your fingers as it applies the concealer. So I'm really enjoying using this. And again, I'm trying to hold it a little bit further down than I might otherwise do, to make sure that I'm just feathering the concealer rather than being too sort of rough with it, as it were. But then what I'm doing is I'm using the Angie Hot and the Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush, but not to apply concealer. I'm actually using this to apply my powder that I then put on top of my concealer to set it. Now, they're very different brushes. This is much firmer. It's not super firm, but it is firm, whereas this one is much softer, at least at the top. It's firmer down the bottom. So they are quite different brushes, and I really am enjoying using this for the powder. So I think it's worked out really well for me, because I didn't find it so easy to use as a concealer brush. So really liking both these brushes from BK Beauty. Now, the other foundation brush that I've gone back to, and this I've had for years, long before I had a YouTube channel. Ooh, loads of hair. And this is the It Cosmetics brush. Can't remember its full name, but I'll link it down below for you. It actually does have a concealer brush on the other end, which I sometimes use, which is quite nice, but a little bit different to the Angie Hot and Flashy and the Nikki La Rose. Maybe it's kind of almost a combination of the two, but it is a little bit firm. But this is really great for foundation as well. Actually, what's interesting is they are quite different brushes. So this is a lot firmer than this one, but sometimes I don't want super firm. I want a little bit looser, as it were. And this is very, very good as well. So really like using this one, and I've kind of rediscovered it. I know why. It's because I was watching Risa of Risa Does Makeup the other day, and she was talking about this, and I thought, oh yes, I've got that brush. I must fish it out. So both these brushes really good for concealer application. Now, as I mentioned before, I find cream blush quite tricky to apply with a regular blush brush. So I've got these two brushes. Now, really, I'm very naughty. I shouldn't have bought two, but I bought one and then completely forgot that I'd got one and bought another one. So this one is actually a Lisa Eldridge brush, which I bought when she had a pop-up about 3 years ago. And I was kind of bamboozled into buying it, I suppose. But I was just blown away by the manner in which the makeup artist in store applied the foundation. And she used this brush. But I tried it when I got home, and then I just thought, actually, do you know what? I'm not really enjoying using it, and sort of put it in a drawer and forgot about it, which I shouldn't have done, because it's very expensive and I should have perhaps looked for other uses for it, which is why I ended up buying this one, which is quite similar, and this is a Westman Atelier brush, which I bought in the summer, I think, when I was buying one of the blushers, because again, the way the makeup artist in store applied my blusher, it looked fantastic. And actually, they both do the same job very well. They are excellent brushes for applying cream products, and cream blushes in particular, because I do find it difficult to apply a cream blusher on my cheek without kind of pulling my skin and making my texture look bad. But with this, you're kind of painting it on. They are like paint brushes, so I do really enjoy using them. Now, this one has a bigger head, and it feels about the same consistency actually as the Lisa Eldridge. This one's just a bit more precise, I suppose, but they're both really lovely brushes, and I am using them a lot because I'm using cream blusher a lot. So I am reaching for them on a weekly, if not daily basis. Now this is a funny one, isn't it? I think some people use this for a bronzer, but I got into this through one of my lovely friends on YouTube, who isn't on YouTube as a makeup lover anymore. She's on YouTube sailing around Greece. So she's done a complete volte-face, and I'll link her channel down below for you, because it is worth watching her makeup channel anyway, because she's so good. If you've got hooded eyes, she is the absolute expert on how to make up hooded eyes. She does such fantastic demos. Anyway, she's now sailing around Greece, and I'll link her channel down below for you doing that as well, because it is a fun watch if you're interested in sailing. Anyway, she used to use this brush for getting rid of any fallout from her makeup, so I decided to get it, and it's Spectrum. I think you can get these on Amazon. I'll have a look. I think I might have bought this in a Boots. Anyway, I really like it for getting rid of any fallout. As long as you don't leave the fallout too long, it really does get off any eyeshadow that might have fallen out during application. So really love this brush. And this is another Spectrum brush, which I just think is a great blender. So if you've applied your eyeshadow and then you want to blend it out with a clean brush, I usually use this one. It's a nice domed brush, but it's got enough bristles there to really help you to shear out or to blend any colour that you want blending. I just think it's a great brush. I think Spectrum are pretty reasonably priced. And actually another reasonably priced one, which is slightly smaller, is this e.l.f. brush. This is very good. I think e.l.f. brushes are very reasonably priced. So again, I'll link that down below for you. It's another good blending brush, or even an eyeshadow application brush as well. Very, very good. Really like this one. And finally, I really like this brush for applying a shadow close to my lid, which is what I've used it for today. And it's an old Nars brush. I honestly can't remember where I got it or how I got it. I probably bought it in Space NK years ago. If it isn't available, I'll link a similar one down below for you. What I really like about it is it's wide. It's really good for stamping. I have got this BK Beauty tiny weenie brush, which is meant to be for eyeliner, but actually I prefer this because you can get more eyelid at the same time, as it were, rather than the tiny weenie brush. I suppose it's because I'm not a close work, dexterous, artistic kind of woman. I find that I prefer a bigger brush. I'm just a bit cack-handed. I'm just not very artistic. So these kind of brushes I find easier to use than the really tiny pinpointy ones. So I'll try and link one down below for you if I can't find this Nars one or it's not available anymore. And just a final word on sponges. I've realised that I actually need to get a few more of these because this one's got a bit of a nick in it now. It's not looking terribly attractive. But I really like a big sponge, so I don't go in for beauty blenders. I tend to buy, I think this might be an e.l.f., I'm not sure. I might have just got it on Amazon. It just might be one of those random brands that you find. But I really like a big sponge that I then use to, for example, set my concealer. And I often actually use the flat end at the bottom to sort of place over my eye like this, especially if I've got concealer on my lid. I just find these big sponges more helpful than the smaller ones. So this is the type of sponge I like best. So there you have it. That is a list of all the lip products that I've loved in 2024 and all the brushes and even a sponge. And let me know in the comments what you think. Have you tried any of these products? Would you try them? What are your favourites? Do let us know and share them in the comments. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. And if you'd like to hear more from me, I have a monthly newsletter. And in that, I don't just talk about beauty, but I also talk about fashion, lifestyle, books, music, podcasts, film, TV, and all the other bits and bobs that bring us joy. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I hope you're all doing really well and looking forward to an exciting 2025. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.